A Coach for Cinderella is certainly interesting. This is a 10-minute, 9-ish 10-minute advert for Chevrolet. And it's interesting. That's the best word I can think of to describe it. It's not great, it's not bad, but it's fascinating. This was released in 1936. It's directed by Max Fleischer and Jimson Handy, and it is created as an advert for Chevrolet. And I kind of wish they used cartoons to advertise things more today. Not that I want adverts to be 9 minutes long, but it was pretty interesting. It's kind of the story of Cinderella, but with some different characters. We actually have some gnomes making the carriage, and I'll be honest, Cinderella is barely in this. She is barely in the cartoon, but she is wanting to go to the ball, of course, and these gnomes want to help her because she has helped them before. So for about 7 minutes of the cartoon, they are working a little bit on her dress, mostly on the carriage. And for the majority of the film, it looks like they're building a generic pumpkin-style carriage. It looks really great. And I will spoil what happens at the end of the film, but considering it's an advertisement for Chevrolet, you can kind of imagine what happens. So there will be spoilers from now. They're building this carriage, and it looks very good. We have this classic pumpkin orange. It looks really eye-catching. And then they paint it black, and it looked really boring. And then they put it through this machine called a modernizer. And at the very end of the cartoon, and I do mean the very end, we are talking the last maybe 20, 30 seconds, they reveal the finished product. Cinderella's carriage is a Chevrolet. And I thought, well, fair enough. That's a very creative way to advertise Chevrolet. Turn it into Cinderella's carriage. And it's going to be pretty memorable, if nothing else. So it's a fun idea. However, it is very boring because literally nothing happens for about 6 or 7 minutes. The gnomes are just building this carriage and working a little bit on her dress, and that's it. And it really didn't need to be that long. They could have told this story in about 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, without losing anything at all. And I'm assuming, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm assuming Chevrolet paid them for a 9-minute cartoon, so they have to deliver on that time because they want 9 minutes dedicated to revealing this Chevrolet, which is fair enough. But it definitely didn't need to be that long. It just drags on and on and on. So I was really curious to see the finished product, and that's what kept me engaged. That's what kept me curious to find out. I think it was a really good idea to not reveal it until the very end because it's building suspense. However, they didn't need to build suspense for this long. So I did enjoy it purely because it was a little bit different, but in terms of actually being an entertaining narrative, there's not really a lot there. But if you're a fan of Cinderella, or I guess Chevrolet, then I'd say check it out. It's certainly interesting. I will use that word again. It's a fascinating cartoon. The animation is absolutely fine. The animation of the gnomes is quite cute. What we see of Cinderella is pretty good, but the pacing is its biggest downfall. But as I said, I'm assuming Chevrolet paid for a 9-minute advertisement, so they have to deliver on that. Maybe they could have made it a little bit more interesting, but nevertheless, it works well enough. As a one-time watch, A Coach for Cinderella is definitely worth checking out, but I can't imagine I'd watch it a second time.